Another Friday night on the gridiron. Welcome to the KELOLAND Sports Zone. I'm Travis Fossey alongside Bailey Millen.
Tonight we'll spotlight 11 games, including 4 top 5 matchups, and we begin with the 1 versus 2 in Class 11 AAA.
A battle of unbeaten teams at Howard Wood as Roosevelt met O'Gorman. Opening quarter, the Rough Riders commit the first miscue of the game as Jaden Bourne loses a handle. Zach Norton recovers a fumble. OG takes over deep in Roosevelt territory. Turnover netted the Knights 3 points as Connor Pavelko kicks a 37-yard field goal. O'Gorman leads 3-0. On the heels of a blocked punt, the Knights add to their advantage as Norton roams right, splits 2 defenders, and goes 22 yards for the touchdown. 10-0 after 1 quarter. Second quarter, following an interception, the Knights strike again as Norton finds Jacob Bird all alone on the far side of the field. 24 goes the distance for 6. PAT was no good. O'Gorman leads 16-0. On the Rough Riders' ensuing drive, the Knights force another turnover. Brady Dannenbring intercepted by Bo Blunt. O'Gorman by 16 at halftime, and the second-ranked Knights rout number 1 Roosevelt 36-0. Aberdeen Central headed west to play Rapid City Central. Opening quarter, the Golden Eagles hang 6 on the board as Dylan Stavener runs up the gut, slips 2 tackles, and goes 37 yards for the touchdown. At the PAT at 7-0. More from the visitors as Carter Hogue takes the plunge from 1 yard out. Aberdeen Central extends its lead to 14-0. Later in the first, Rapid City Central gets on the board. Jeremy Weedman emerges from the scrum and goes 45 yards for the touchdown. Aberdeen Central led 21-6 after 1 quarter, but Rapid City Central rallies past the Golden Eagles, winning a thriller 39-38.
The nightcap at Howard Wood Field featured Washington and Brookings. The Bobcats trail 7-0, but quarterback Jacob Schoen airs one out to Jay Wilbur for the 30-yard pickup. That puts Brookings in Washington territory. A few plays later, the Schoen-Wilbur connection again, this time for a Bobcat touchdown as Brookings ties the game at 7 with 7:11 left in the first half. Ensuing Warriors possession, Jaden Johansson is going to hit Tyus Hansen over the middle for the first down, and here comes Washington. On 1st and goal, the Warriors hand off to Tupac Capea, who follows his blockers up the gut, and he's in for 6 more, his second TD of the game, as Washington retakes the lead 14-7, and the Warriors hold on to win 27-7. Brandon Valley celebrated homecoming against Rapid City Stevens. On the Raiders' opening possession, Colton Hartford's pass is picked off as Ethan Tellinghusen shoots the gap and takes the ball 25 yards for the pick 6 to give the Lynx a quick 6-0 lead. Ahead to the second quarter, Thomas Skolton drops back and finds a wide-open Carter Altoff in the end zone for the 1-yard touchdown pass. Brandon Valley leads by 12. Then under 3 minutes left in the first half, Hartford hits Bridger Nesbitt down the sideline for the 30-plus yard pickup, and the Raiders are in business. Hartford then rolls to his right and hits Branson Kuehl in the end zone as the Raiders get on the board, trailing 12-7 at the break, but the Lynx dominate the second half as Brandon Valley wins 34-14.
Number 1 played at 2 in Class 11B. We'll have those highlights next. We'll be right back.
You're watching the KELOLAND Sports Zone! You're watching the KELOLAND Sports Zone!
Welcome back to the KELOLAND Sports Zone.
After suffering its first loss of the season against Brookings, Watertown bounced back with a 17-10 win at Lincoln last Friday. Tonight, the Arrows took aim at a second straight W against Harrisburg. Tigers down 15 in the third quarter. Jack Tigan drops back and looks for Max Anderson, who hauls in the 17-yard touchdown catch, pulling Harrisburg within 9. On the next Tigers possession, Tigan looking to throw again, but he'll be brought down on the sack by the Arrows, and Nick Geffrey getting there for the sack. Later, Watertown punting to the Tigers. Anders Clayton fields a kick, goes right. Looks like he's going down, but stays on his feet, slips a few more tackles, gets outside, and finally, I say finally, brought down. That led to a Tigan 1-yard touchdown to make it 35-33. Harrisburg with a chance late to drive for the winning score. Tigan, though, over the middle, intercepted. Watertown's Jacob Tischer comes up with the game-clinching pick as the Arrows hold on 35-33 over Harrisburg. Yankton sought its first home win of the season against Lincoln. Second quarter, the Bucks added their 13-7 advantage. Cade Koletsky goes 42 yards for the touchdown. At the PAT, Yankton leads 27. Patriots respond with an impressive run of their own. Austin Sorensen bounces off a few defenders, motors down the sideline, 32 yards for the touchdown. Lincoln cuts the deficit to 20-17. Late in the first half, Lincoln trails 23-17 but pulls even. Tommy Thompson rolling right to Wyatt Vandentop. He goes 70 yards for the touchdown. Kick failed and we're tied at 23 at halftime. Fourth quarter still tied at 23. Yankton with the lead. Ethan Wishon rolls right and hits Michael Drotzman. 23 yards on the touchdown pass. Bucks by 7. Yankton outlasts Lincoln 30-23.
A Class 11A contest featuring number 1 Dakota Valley and Vermilion. First quarter, Panthers have the ball at the 26-yard line and Nate Rice is able to run it past everyone for a score. Panthers take a 13-0 lead over the Tanagers. A few minutes later, Vermilion with the ball. Mitchell Doutry gets the swing pass. He takes it 6 yards before being tackled by Charlie Cox, who forces the fumble, and the Panthers recover. Ensuing possession, Nate Rice runs the ball with 2 Tanagers hot on his heels, and he finds pay dirt. 20-0 Dakota Valley as the Panthers remain perfect on the season with a 47-14 win over Vermilion. The top 2 teams in Class 11B met in Canton as the Seahawks hosted Bridgewater Emory Ethan. Opening kickoff, Caden Burley fakes the reverse, picks up a block, avoids 3 tackles, and then he's out of there. 85 yards for the touchdown, and just like that, Canton is up 7-0. Second quarter, BEE's Brady Hawkins gets some great blocking. He's going to wind up and throw a bomb to Chase Aaron, who runs it down. Out leaps a defender and makes the 72-yard touchdown. It's 7-7, and the Seahawk fans like what they see. Just before the half, Hawkins airs it out again. This time, Sawyer Schultz drags a defender into the end zone, and it's 17-10 Bridgewater Emory Ethan at the break. Canton though, ahead to the fourth quarter, Canton's driving handoff to Shaden Sheet, and look at him. He follows his blockers and dives in for the score. It's a 17-17 tie. Here's your game winner, the fourth quarter. Scott Peterson pushes in for the 1-yard touchdown run, and the Seahawks outlast the Bridgewater Emory Seahawks as Canton wins 24-17.
We'll have highlights from Sioux Falls, Canastota, and Henry next. We'll be right back.
You're watching KELOLAND SportsZone! Woo! You're watching the KELOLAND SportsZone! Woo!
After losing at Canton, Sioux Falls Christian has won back-to-back games, including last week's 42-7 victory at Elk Point Jefferson. Tonight, the Chargers attempted to extend their win streak against Flandreau. Opening quarter, Flyers quarterback Tanner Christensen rolls left but is corralled by Zach Whitty, who tosses him to the turf. Flandreau was forced to punt to Jake Pettengill's squad. After turning the ball over on downs on their first possession, Chargers hit pay dirt on their second. Parker Nelson, 34 yards for the touchdown, had the 2-point conversion, and it's 8-0. On the final play of the first quarter, Chargers quarterback Dawson Mulder tosses a 22-yard touchdown pass to Clay Vinson. Conversion was good, and it's 16-zip. Second quarter, the Flyers attempt a reverse, but Carter DeYoung blows the play up, forcing a fumble, and recovers the fumble. That led to a 6-yard touchdown pass. Sioux Falls Christian flies past Flandreau, 45-6. 9-man football contest featuring Canastota Freeman and Baltic. Late in the first quarter, Baltic quarterback Sam Mustin fakes the handoff, freezing the D, and the photographer runs to the far side of the field, 29 yards for the touchdown. PAT no good. It's 6-0 Bulldogs. Pride respond with a score of their own as Trey Ortman fakes a handoff and goes 3 yards for the touchdown, had the 2-point conversion, and it's 8-6. Second quarter, more from the home team. Ortman connects with Tice Ortman on the 6-yard touchdown pass. Conversion failed. It's 14-6 Canastota Freeman. Bulldogs and Pride proceeded to trade turnovers. Canastota Freeman led 26 at halftime, and the Pride pick up the win, edging Baltic 34-30.
Another 9-man matchup pitting Florence Henry against top-ranked Britton Hecla. The Braves are deep in Falcon territory when quarterback Kyler Meyer calls his own number from 9 yards out and runs it in for the touchdown at the 2-point conversion, and it's 8-0 Britton Hecla. Later, facing 4th and 1, the Braves give this Stanley Haskins Jr., who makes a man miss and then turns on the Jets for the 52-yard touchdown run. Britton Hecla leads 14-zip. On the heels of a Braves interception, Florence Henry returns the favor as Peyton Gassman falls on the loose ball, though the Falcons would turn it over later on a fake punt. The Florence Henry turnover leads to this play. Britton Hecla gives the ball to Haskins Jr. again, who shoots through the gap, spins off a defender, and he's in for 6. It's 20-0 at that point, and the Braves roll to the win, 48-6.
Time to hand out our weekly award, the Touchstone Energy Player of the Week. This looks familiar. Recipient, Britton Hecla Jr., Stanley Haskins Jr. Braves running back went for 143 yards and 2 touchdowns in the 48-6 win at Florence Henry. Haskins and company rushed for over 300 yards as a team. Player of the Week is brought to you by your local Touchstone Energy cooperatives. Together, we are re-energizing rural. The weekend sports schedule and hits and helmets next. We'll be right back.
The KELOLAND Sports Zone will be right back.
The KELOLAND Sports Zone looking ahead to another busy Saturday on the college gridiron. Sioux Falls home taking on Minot State beginning at 1. A big FCS matchup in Fargo. Number 1 NDSU takes on number 3 SDSU. Kickoff at 2:30 at the Fargo Dome. Northern State hosting Winona State, while USD plays at Southern Illinois tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. Sports Calendar is brought to you by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Reach your more.
It's time to honor tonight's top plays and playmakers with another edition of Hits and Helmets.
Hits and Helmets brought to you by Avera Orthopedics. Make your move to the largest orthopedic physician team in the region, Avera Orthopedics. Thanks for watching and have a great weekend.